Hey guys, welcome back to Insight Tennis Tour Stroke Series. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the forehand, and what we want to focus on today is some ways that you can increase the power and the weight of shot on your forehand. There's a lot of different philosophies out there, as I'm sure you're all well aware. But what we want to kind of focus on is some of the key fundamentals that all of the pros use to hit that heavy ball, to hit that ball that has great weight to it. It comes off the court and accelerates off the court. One of the things that I believe is one of the most misunderstood concepts in this game is where the power is really generated. You hear a lot about wrist and arm and all kinds of things like that. And make no mistake about it, the power comes from the body in this game. No question about it. The big muscles, your trunk, your legs, torso and trunk rotation. The arm and wrist do play a role, but they are not the primary generator of power. And ideally, the power comes from pushing off the ground. I coil and I push off the ground, and that's what gives me that torque and rotation and actually gives me the power that you see the pros have. Two things that we want to focus on here. Number one of the key fundamentals in any good forehand is a good unit turn. Okay, and if you watch the pros when they take their racket back, you're going to notice that they don't take the racket back with their arms. You see how my body didn't move hardly at all. They're going to take their racket back with their body. Okay, so you see I get this nice coil here. All right, that's coiling my body. Now, if I don't turn away, clearly it's going to be hard for me to come back through. And that's kind of what we want to focus on today, is a good rotation away from the ball so that we can rotate back through with our body, because this is a huge power source on your forehand. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to have that good rotation, and notice that that starts to load my right side here, okay? And I'm squatting down so that I'm coiled and loaded. Now, if I step into the ball, which again, sometimes you'll step in, sometimes you'll just hit off your right foot and shift your weight. There's different variations, but let's assume for a moment I'm going to step into this ball. So I'm here and I'm going to step into the ball here, okay? Now, I'm coiled, as you can see, but here's the key thing, guys. Watch the pros. You're going to see the body is what initiates the swing, and the arm just kind of goes along for the ride. If I get back into this position here, I'm stepping in. Now notice what starts as I lower my racket into position here. What is starting to move, right? There's no question it's the body that starts to initiate the swing. And as my body uncoils, this racket is just going to seek that laid back position naturally, especially if I have a loose arm and a loose wrist. So again, think about the body initiating the swing and not the arm. From here, granted, this is in slow motion, so it's going to look a little different if we do normal speed. But let me do slow motion first so you kind of get the idea. So again, I'm loading. I want this good coil, and I'm taking the racket back with my body. This is key, guys. If I start connected, it's easier to stay connected as I come back through. Okay, so that's one of the first things that I want you to think about. Start connected, all right? Good hip and shoulder rotation, taking the racket back with my body, not my hands and arms. Now, if I step into the ball here, and notice that the racket's starting to drop, but look at what's starting to happen. The body is already starting to move, and the racket is just going to seek this laid back position. And as my body comes back to contact, as you can see, what's driving the stroke here? Not my arm. Right? What is driving the stroke here? My body is what's driving that stroke, right? But hopefully you get the idea here, and the concept is the body is the power source, number one. Number two, initiate the stroke with your body, not your hand or your arm. So if I do this in more of a, rather than slow motion, kind of how I would normally swing, you'll kind of see that the body is what initiates that swing, right? So I'm here, my racket's going to drop, but notice what's starting to drive here, even before my racket. If I come to here and my racket lowers down, again, this is slow motion, I'm going to start to uncoil my body and drive with my legs, as you can see. And then the racket catches up, right? And pulls it through, and I come around and finish. So guys, if you want more power on that forehand, if you want more weight of shot so that the ball lands, comes off the ground and accelerates into your opponent, you have to master this technique. Go out and try it, guys. Let me know what you think. As always, appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time out on the court.